Hi everyone, welcome to the Robert Show. We are here at AWS Reinvent and I'm super excited to be at the Cloudera booth with Michelle. Michelle, welcome to the Robert Show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
Yes, I'm super excited to chat with you today. It's your debut, so obviously I'm kind of curious to learn about many things around partnerships. You talk to a lot of customers, how the space is evolving. But let's start with a quick intro and what do you do at Cloudera?
All right, great. Well, first of all, amazing energy here at AWS reInvent. This is like one of the world's biggest, largest, most exciting events here this year.
For sure.
So thank you so much. So I lead our global alliances and channels worldwide for Cloudera. So looking after all of our partner ecosystem and the breadth of that ecosystem, whether SIs, regional, global, ISVs that build solutions with us,
Nice.
or regional partners that resell or distributors. So the breadth of our ecosystem that really deliver the value to the customers, right? And personalize it, customize it regionally in the various countries.
And it is very important because what we feel, obviously cover a good ground globally as well. And what we feel is where the customer is sitting. And if you have like the regional, obviously channels, which can help them, nothing better than that.
Absolutely.
Talking about partnerships, I'm also kind of curious, since we're here at the AWS reInvent, what does the partnership look like between Cloudera and AWS? Tell us a little bit more about that.
AWS is one of our most strategic partnerships. We have what is called an AWS strategic collaboration agreement.
Yes.
Which is really designed on how do we deliver greater value to our customers. It's investments that AWS makes in us and that we reciprocate with commitments that we're going to do to stay
Love it.
on top of the latest and greatest innovations. So we'll do roadmap workshops with AWS for the latest and greatest AWS native services. We'll also develop custom POC workshops for our customers,
right,
making it really easy for them to expand. So all types of value to our customers, but it is really helping our customers understand that they can trust the relationship that we have.
Yeah, I think that is a very important point that you mentioned is having that partnership, but also the roadmap is very important for the joint customers because they feel that, oh, we've known about everything that, AWS and Cloudera are kind of coming up and what's that we can have in the future as well. Building trust is very important and that's what AWS and Cloudera does together. I'm kind of also curious to learn a little bit about the customers because you'll have so many joint customers and you've been, obviously talking to so many customers here at the AWS reInvent as well.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about what the joint customers are talking, but also the customers that Cloudera has. What are they talking? What are they most excited about?
So, well, obviously AI, agentic AI is really critical. So this is one of the key things that we're bringing to market together with AWS and our customers. So what we've done is help to de-risk AI for our customers. There's so many projects you hear about that never make it to production.
Right.
So we've done things to help build the right packages and services, making it so easy. We have something called AI Studios in our Cloudera AI, where they can get started. They can bring their own models if they have them already built, or they can leverage Cloudera's AI in our model catalog, right? Yes. So there's packaging that we've done to make that easier for our customers to get started with AI. The other thing that our customers really value is the flexibility and choice, right? We're open.
Openness.
Based on open, yes. Huge.
Yes.
Open.
Yeah.
As well as control. So we basically, for our customers on AWS, their data resides in their environment. They control it. They manage the governance and the controls around that. That's part of being a platform as a service provider for our customers. So we give control back to the customers of their data.
Yeah, I think that is one very important point that you mentioned is having that openness, the flexibility, and also less of vendor lock-ins, right? So
absolutely,
we are in that phase where customer wants their data where it is.
Yes.
Let it stay there.
Exactly.
And tell us how we can work with you. Exactly. And that makes the job easier for all the enterprise leaders out there. So that's pretty cool. Fantastic insights there. I'm kind of also wanting to learn a little bit about on-prem, right? Because we've kind of seeing that shift because I talk to a lot of enterprise leaders and they always tell me that, Ravit, cloud is definitely good, but to be honest, we would love to shift back to on-prem. And there are various reasons to that as well. AI being one of the reasons too. They want to make sure that their data is very secured. They want to have the right guardrails, and sometimes it's like sensitive data that they want on-prem.
You got it. Exactly.
tell me how are you seeing that happening, but how is Cloudera helping those customers and even the community to focus on on-prem as well?
So this is a real differentiator for
Yeah.
Cloudera. Nobody does this like Cloudera does today. And we really like to think of it as the bridge to the cloud for customers, that they can move their workloads to the clouds, but they also have a bridge to go back to on-premise, right? And that's what we mean by data anywhere. Allowing our customers to move back and forth, even if it's to the edge, right? So this kind of flexibility and choice of being a hybrid, true hybrid cloud provider is something that differentiates us.
Yeah, no, I think that is something pretty interesting that you all have been doing, and I always say that, like, I've been talking to so many folks here at Cloudera as well, and I'm like, that's something which is actually a unique selling point for you guys as well. But at the same time, this is what community likes, and if on-prem is a thing which is obviously booming, we need to make sure that we're helping the customers or the partners there where they are. Another big question that I wanted to, you wanted to say something?
Well, I was going to
Yes.
say, but as big as it is, we also have customers all in on Cloudera, on AWS, and only on AWS, right? So huge customers
Right.
that really value the pure cloud environment also.
Yes.
Large pharmaceutical customers, or one customer that we have here this week, Mercy Corp's, amazing use case and
Totally.
scenario. They're a nonprofit, they're saving lives, and they're doing,
Wow.
they're a humanitarian service provider. So they are really solving crisis situations, whether that's in Sudan or Gaza, and leveraging Cloudera's AI with NVIDIA's NIMS inference that's embedded in.
That's awesome.
Bringing vast amounts of data, right? Data that they are now able to react in a real-time way, driving life-changing decisions.
Yeah, I think nothing better than saving lives if you can do that with the technology, and if Cloudera and obviously other vendors are in this space helping that. That is, massive respect to us as well. So that's awesome. Michelle, I'm going to ask you a little bit around the innovations as well. AWS and y'all come together and help a lot of customers together. Tell us how y'all innovate together as well. What's the story there? I know you mentioned about obviously having like a certain roadmap that y'all always plan and make sure where the customers feel they can see what's coming ahead as well. But having that vision obviously takes a lot of obviously I wouldn't say challenges, but there's a lot of planning that goes into when Cloudera and AWS kind of comes together and help their customers. Tell us a little bit about the innovation piece.
Yeah, so one of the areas for which we're innovating is sovereign cloud. So
very important.
Data residency is super important, geopolitical concerns, and so Cloudera is partnering with AWS to be a launch partner. For example, in EMEA, they have their EU sovereign cloud, so Cloudera is a launch partner to support that, as well as regional zones like Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for example, KSA region. We're a launch partner for that particular zone.
Very cool.
Yeah, so these are just some of the ways in which we're innovating, but also around AI and AI use cases, right? So we've got a customer, a very large pharmaceutical customer that's leveraging Cloudera AI, over 100 plus Gen AI use cases.
Wow.
And they're a cloud only, Cloudera on AWS only customer, saving lives by bringing faster drugs to market.
Very important.
Leveraging massive amounts of data from clinical trials to, protein folding, all types of information that helps them speed up their ability to find problems for rare diseases, right? And it's really an amazing, powerful use cases.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like, obviously the way how healthcare is, these are very regulated industries, healthcare, finance, and if those are, obviously feeling confident about the solutions that Cloudera and AWS kind of put together, it just becomes a no-brainer for other enterprises, obviously, to feel confident about, the different industries that they're catering as well. So that's awesome. Michelle,
and that's also partly the governance that we provide, the security, governance, trust that allows our customers to be able to trust.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that is one thing, again, which is a massive thing for every enterprise leaders. They're like, Ravit, we can implement AI into our systems, but what about governance? What about security?
Yes.
How do we kind of have those guardrails? And if you all are focusing on that as well, when they're using a lot of Gen AI apps, nothing like it.
That's core to what we do because we support a lot of regulated industries. Right? And large, vast amounts of data.
Sensitive data.
Exactly.
Yes.
So super important.
Yeah, Michelle, I'm also kind of curious to learn a little bit about the future. Looking ahead, say in next 6 to 8 months, I'm not even going to say 3 to 4 years, how do you see the space evolving? And if you would have any advice for those enterprise leaders that you all are closely working with, and because you talk to a lot of enterprise customers and a lot of enterprise leaders out there, I'm kind of curious to know what would be your advice for them.
Well, talking to the partner leader, I'm going to
Yes.
say first and foremost to lean on your partners as your trusted advisors. So
Totally.
where I see it's headed for us is really leveraging our ecosystem to be that trusted advisors to customers to help get their POCs up and running quicker.
Yes.
Sovereign clouds, really huge opportunity that we're innovating together with AWS. And I think also, a future would be that you don't think of Cloudera and AWS, but you think of Cloudera and AWS together delivering this value, because I don't think often customers first think about Cloudera with AWS, but the value that we are delivering together is incredibly powerful.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I love how, obviously you all go hand in hand, Cloudera and AWS. Any other advice that you have for enterprise leaders that they should be, thinking around AI, implementation? There's so much that's happening, right?
Absolutely. I think for AI implementation, it's to get started today and start small. Start with one use case, right? We have built packages to make it super easy to get started, POCs. We have funding to be able to jumpstart these POCs, pricing and packaging. So just pick one and let it
start somewhere
and grow as you go.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, and you need to, obviously start somewhere to grow and scale. So that's awesome. We'll keep the conversation going, Michelle. This was so helpful, so good of you to, obviously take the time out during reInvent. I know the booth is buzzing. People are waiting to chat with the Cloudera folks. We'll keep the conversation going, but once again, thanks for doing this. One last question I have for you is, if people want to follow you, which is the best place to do that? LinkedIn, X, where should they follow you?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is best? Okay, all right. Thank you once again for doing this. Take care and have a fantastic conference ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us today.